turn up for the rest of the week, then let's get worried about it. But if he hasn't turned up for a day, let's not get too worried about it.
There's obviously contrasting views. You've got Norman Gidder that's about 110, whose last contact at the club probably died about 35 years ago. Then you've got Alistair Gold that has turned round, even though that twat blocked me for non-football related stuff, who was confirmed in his view that Kane didn't turn up today and he should have done. You've got Paul O'Keefe saying, "Yep, it's true, he didn't turn up and he should have done," and then you've got someone else that said something else. But
hold on, that is cutting edge. That is cutting edge. So I mean, all the other stuff, you were carrying me along for the ride. You know, the personal insults about Giller and Ali Gold and your grudge match with Ali about the pigeon detectives. But when you add context like someone else said something else, I have to take you to task. I mean, there's no added value.
What's your source there, Jamie?
Well,
someone said something else.
I just lost my train of thought there, and I just.
Okay.
I think in terms of obviously the way things have gone today about Harry Kane, an awful lot has been said about Kane hasn't turned up, Kane's gone on strike, etc.
Yeah.
And I think too much has been said for too long today for there to be no element of truth in the matter at all. I mean, just going back to Harry Kane's Twitter profile, the 6th of March this year was the last time he liked anything to do with Spurs.
Yeah.
And the last tweet that he put out there wasn't even about Spurs. It was about playing with Lamela on the 26th of July.
Yeah.
From the 6th of March to now, considering, Spurs have been praising him on social media for playing for England and doing this and doing that, and his birthday, etc., he has just gone completely silent on social media, which is odd.
Yeah, but that's fine. So if we're going to sell him, what has to happen is that City have to come up with the readies that we're going to accept. And that's really going to be the stumbling block, isn't it?
I mean, that's the key to the whole saga, really, isn't it? But I mean, I don't want Kane to go, but a part of me is quite excited about the notion of change.
And
the
exactly.
fact that if we could get a good wedge of money for Kane, we could strengthen in 3 or 4 different places. Yeah. I mean, Man City have obliterated the league for the last 5-6 years.
Yeah.
Did they have Kane playing for them? No, they fucking didn't.
No.
Did Man United have Kane playing for them over, this year or that year, or when Liverpool won the league?
Same with Liverpool, same with Chelsea. Yeah,
teams are winning things. Chelsea, Liverpool,
without Harry Kane.
City, without Harry Kane. Yeah. We've given Kane the opportunity of a Champions League final, numerous other opportunities where we could win things. He hasn't turned up. Like I said, I don't want Kane to leave, but I just think that if in the event that we did have to just admit defeat and say, look, he is going, maybe instead of having one player playing in 3 different positions on the pitch at the very same time, we can have 3 players playing in 3 separate positions that can
exactly.
But that works. That's really dependent on the club actually spending that money and replace. If investing that money in replacements, and that, I guess, that is the massive question, really, Jay. Will they? And you're right. It needs, if it's going to happen, it needs to get done, and it needs to get done quickly. And we need to come out like Dortmund did. Someone mentioned this. I can't remember who it was on Twitter, but someone mentioned this, and
that's no value, was it?
And got shot down and said like Dortmund. Why don't we say, right, the price is this, like 200 million or 180 million. I don't think 150 million is enough. The price is 180 million or whatever. And the deadline is Friday, because you've been saying that you're interested. If you want to buy him, pay the money by Friday or fuck off, really. And otherwise he stays and becomes our player. So, I mean, the only thing that I would add really about all of this before we kind of have a quick sum up as to whether we think he's staying or going is that there's loads of people have been atting Harry Kane today. You're right. You say that he hasn't tweeted anything for ages, but I'm pretty sure him and his people are actually aware of his account. and the information on his account.
Yeah.
And loads of people have been atting Harry Kane about, someone was like, actually, like, Harry Kane, you need to tell me what's going on. Like, tell me and all the other fans what's going on. We deserve to know. And then some other guy was like, I can't remember what he said actually. I'm not going to name him, and I said to him, well, why have you atted Harry Kane? And he's like, oh, sorry, mate, that was a mistake. I was like, well, and then he deleted the tweet. But why would you?
Was it Nav Gorth?
No, but why would you at Harry Kane and then abuse him, and then think, oh, do you know what? I'm hoping you're going to stay. It's not going to happen, So, So very quickly, quick roundup before we move on. We've been talking for a while and we haven't really said a lot. So, Andy, is he staying or is he going?
I think he's going. One thing I just wanted to add, though, is that because of his injury record, I think Kane's career will probably finish fairly early, in his early 30s. And he's going to be gone in 4 or 5 years anyway. So why don't we deal with that situation now? One day he's going to go. So if he wants to go, let's deal with it and move on. And,
so sorry. So it should be a twofold question. Sorry. So you said he's going to go. Are you he deserves to go because he deserves trophies person, or are you?
No, I don't think he deserves trophies, but I think if a professional footballer wants to leave, it's a short career. That's fair enough, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay.
If he wants to change, yeah.
Good stuff. Jamie, over to you very quickly.
I think Kane's going to go. We've seen this situation arise numerous times again, haven't we? Where you've got a player that wants to leave, club doesn't want to sell him, the club remain firm, dig their heels in. We end up with a player that's unhappy, becomes a disruptive influence in the changing room, and it doesn't benefit anyone going forward. So I think if City came forwards with 100 million, 110 million plus a player, it may be middle of August towards the end of the transfer window, but I think if you've got a player there that if he hasn't turned up today on purpose and there isn't any other reason for him not turning up, I think the writing's on the wall there that he's just going to be an absolute pain in the arse potentially to try and engineer a move. And like Andy said, he has a poor injury record. He gets injured every season for a good 8, 9, 10 weeks. He's got glass ankles. I think shift him on and let's try and deal with the next chapter and a proper rebuild for Nuno.
Yeah. Okay. Pete?
Two answers. I think I would like him to go. I don't think he will go. I think this is being dragged out. Daniel's dragging it out longer and longer. All right, he's getting the cash coming in from the renaming of the stadium, so he's going to get Wodge cash from that as well. So it takes away some of his urgent need to sell Kane. I think that now that City have got Grealish and things like that.
Haven't got Grealish yet.
Well, they will do. They will do.
I think that's just sorry, Pete. Just before you carry on, I think that's my concern is this this and this assumption that, and this is what I'd like Spurs and Villa to do really, is that we need to, when someone like City bids for a player, everyone just, there's a natural assumption that that's it, it's done, it's a done and dusted. They've done dusted, and and I really would love it. I would love it, as I said earlier in the tweet. I would absolutely love it if both clubs stood firm and said no, because Grealish hasn't gone yet. But everyone is under the assumption that Villa will accept £100 million bid, and then it'll be up to Grealish to make that decision.
Well, that's different sort of money to what Spurs can get. And things like that. So, and I think Kane has been hanging around too long. His skill, his performance over recent months and things hasn't been that good. I mean, I didn't think he really was that special at the Euros. And the other thing is, how would Guardiola fit him into his system? He's already got Sterling up there. He's got De Bruyne, who doesn't really cross the ball. He's rather going forward and getting it that way. So he'd be trying to get it up Kane's arse if he took on the traditional number 9 role. So I'm just struggling a bit as to how he would fit in with.
I'd say, so. What I'd say to that, Pete, is that firstly, like, as you say, like, if he goes, it wouldn't be our problem. So we'll worry about that. But I can assure you that if Kane goes to City, he'll score a hatful of goals. Do you not see all the goals that where they get the ball and they receive the ball in the 6-yard line, get to the 6-yard line, and you have 2 players running in middle of the goal and far post, and they pull it across, and then it's either Jesus or Sterling arriving on the far post. Well, take out Jesus and put in Kane, and he'll be getting those goals on the edge of the 6-yard box. I don't think Kane's got any worries about service in terms of if he moves. So I wouldn't.
The only one I think could service him, pardon the expression, is Gundogan. But apart from that, I think De Bruyne would be too far behind, too close to him to really do some things.
Yeah.
Well, that's to be seen. I mean, that's the whole thing with what Guardiola decides to do, because you can never predict his tactics that much, I don't think.
100%. Okay, so Sarah, coming to you. So do you think Kane will go? And do you think if he goes that he deserves to go to get trophies? Or he deserves
I don't think any player deserves trophies, because surely if he deserves to go to win trophies, then he deserves to win trophies at his boyhood club, and then we should just win a fucking trophy, shouldn't we? So no one deserves to win a trophy. Does he feel like he needs to move and go and get trophies? Yeah, I can't say I blame him for that, but he only goes if we get the money we want.
Yeah.
And
but will that be the case?
You're playing hardball. I just don't see. I don't know. It'll be interesting, because once we get the, if and when the Grealish transfer is done, the 100 million, Daniel Levy's going to be sitting there and he's going to be going, well, I want at least 150, and if anything, it weakens City's position to go and get Harry Kane in the market. So I actually think that almost the Grealish deal is an indication that they've just gone.
Yeah, they're also being.
But that's probably why they're not actually finalising the Grealish deal, because actually that puts them in a weaker position against Spurs. I do like, as you just pointed out there, Sarah, I do like the fact that this notion that City are playing hardball. How the fuck does City play hardball on something that they don't really have a lot of control over? Surely it's down to us to play hardball as to what we.
He's got a very very long contract.
And what we perceive to be his value. But the media are spinning the line that City are playing hardball. This is absolute ridiculous notion, and how they're trying to put this across is just it's incredible. They had for Sky to have someone posted outside the Spurs training ground today to catch Kane turning up. It's just it just takes the piss.
It's pathetic.
Takes the piss. Anyway,
I think just quickly going back to that, I think what was I going to say? Sorry, I've lost my train of thought. I think I've lost it, so just fucking move on.
Okay, well you can come back to it, because I'll quickly say my piece. I think I think he'll go. I'd like, as I said before, I'd like Spurs to make a statement and say, look, if City want him, that's the price and that's the deadline. I think I've never supported this notion that players go with my blessing or whatever, because I'm a Spurs fan. I'm not a Kane fan, or specifically a Bale fan or a Modric fan or all this bollocks. I'm a Spurs fan, and I want Spurs to be successful, and I want the best for Spurs. And that doesn't mean that the players that have been at Spurs and that have failed to get us over the line, then for me, just fuck off to the most successful club to go and achieve those successes elsewhere, like Walker. And then you have all these fans then going up, see, look, this is where Spurs are shit. But, you know, he's gone there and he's winning everything. Well, of course he is, because like